I am so excited to welcome our second keynote of the morning. Some of my dear colleagues are going to come on stage and show you the power of artificial intelligence. I am thrilled to welcome Ardis, Petar, and Eric. Let's give them a round of applause.
All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going today? All right. So isn't Mallory the best MC? All right, give it up for her. She's been great. She is going to keep you at a high energy, hopefully, the rest of the day, and then tomorrow, and then Thursday, maybe. Thank you all for coming. We try to set up the experience, like Melina said. You have some low peaks, and perhaps when you're standing in line outside, maybe there was a low peak, or maybe it was a high peak. But then you come in here with the AC on, and we kind of switch that, right? So we're trying to give you some extremes in here so you can, appreciate better the. Thank you all for coming. We are really, really excited to be here. We have doubled in size from last year, like Mallory said. I couldn't have imagined being here and having all of you at Engage. We specifically did not call this the Element Conference. We did not name it the Element Conference. We named it Engage because we wanted it to be much more than just the Element product. However, there is a component of Element that we really love to talk to you about and all the things that we do. That's why we have two tracks. We have an industry track where it's all in keynotes that are very informative, and we talk all about what's happening in the world, the theme, everything that's relevant around your students and everybody else. And then we have a product track where we talk about all the innovations that we're doing. We have, I would say, about 65–70% of you are Element partners and customers. The rest of you are partners and perhaps future customers as well and future partners. But remember that what we're going to talk about today is going to be focused a lot on product. 3 trillion plus. What do you think this number means?
Yes.
Yes. It's going to take us a few years. It's not the student debt. It is a market cap, but it is the market value of each one of these companies. NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Apple, the 3 largest companies in the world by value and market capitalization. NVIDIA, if you were here at Engage last year and you got the AI bug and said, you know what, this AI thing is going to be great, and you know what, I'm going to invest in NVIDIA, you would have tripled your money today. It became the largest company last week with over $3 trillion in market value. Now, why am I telling you this? This is really important because when you look at the world and when you look at what's important, compute around AI is very, very important. It is like the gold rush moment right now. Everybody is trying to get that gold, and those are the software and the processing that NVIDIA and the hardware that they're producing so they can build better AI and better models and kind of move things forward. Microsoft and Apple, again, Microsoft OpenAI partnership. So a lot of these things are coming together, and we see AI becoming a transformative technology that's going to change a lot of things for us. However, when we look at higher education, we have transitionally not changed as fast. And I have a quote here from Jeff Selingo. He's going to be here tomorrow, and he's going to talk. He's going to be our keynote. But I pulled this because there's a recent article on the Higher Ed Chronicle. It says the competition over humanities is over, and the next battleground is technology. So technology is going to allow us to provide that better experience for that student, provide us better everything around our student, from enrollment to admissions to student support and success to alumni and our productivity and everything that we do. So technology, and of course, I'm missing the biggest part, which is teaching and learning and the classroom. So technology is really that battleground, and AI is really at the core of it because it allows us to amplify everything that we do. Yesterday's students, we no longer recognize them. So a lot of us have in our heads a vision of a student that doesn't exist anymore. We have a vision that, you know, Melina was saying, well, how many, I think there was a lot of examples this morning that you can pick at and you can say, oh, you know what, yeah, I completely understand how I'm thinking a little bit differently about this, how I need to understand that problem that we're trying to solve and think about it 90% of the time, and the rest of 10% try to solve it. Well, we don't do a lot of that, right? So let's start thinking about what today's student needs and is. It's very different. They're technology natives, and they are 24/7 communicating through technology and technology-mediated everything. And again, they're digitally savvy students, and like Melina said this morning, they expect convenient, fast, and personal experiences. So if you think about that, we have a conundrum, like we have a huge gap in higher ed. Institutions, how many of you have open positions? All right, well, a bunch of hands are going up, but I'm pretty sure that a lot more of you have open positions. And you don't have the budgets, and everything is a scarcity model right now that's happening. And it's all human scarcity. We don't have the bandwidth to handle all of the expectations that are happening. That's why technology has been so instrumental in advancing that in the other industries, whereas higher education is traditionally left behind. So we cannot deliver on that expectation, on that fast, convenient, personal experiences. So we at Element have really fallen in love with this problem, right? So our mission has been, since day one, to create personal connections between students and schools through technology. So this is the problem that we're trying to solve. Notice that through technology is something that's a little bit, thinner in there, because creating personal connections between students and schools is super important. That's the problem that we're trying to solve. We live, we breathe, we work on that problem every single day, and the whole team here at Element does that. And the way we deliver it is through technology, by enabling and providing institutions and empowering those connections. And we are powering more than 45 million student connections at Element, and with over 200 plus institutions. And it's incredible, and it makes me really humble, because we started the project with just a few. Actually, our client number 4 is here. So if you see Becky around, just say hi to her. And Linnell, and I don't know what client number, but you're very early on as well. So I really appreciate everybody being here. And since last Engage, we have added 80 plus partners to the Element family. Really excited about it. And if I pass by and I don't recognize you, it's, I try to keep up and recognize everybody, but please say hi. I really like to know you a little bit more. Now, I have to call out 3 different use cases, because every one of you has chosen Element because of all the things that we try to deliver: a better experience, faster, better, AI, consolidation, all of these different things. But ultimately, it's about providing a better experience for that student, providing that better connection. And 3 use cases here: TSTC, and Michael is sitting right here. He said $3 trillion in market cap for Element in. So he really believes in us. TSTC, they have a really interesting model where the reward to the institution is based on student outcomes. And experience is everything, because if that student drops out, if they leave, they don't get their reward. They don't get that funding. So it's very important that they handle a whole student journey very carefully. So they moved from a larger enterprise-based CRM to Element, and he's going to have a presentation or a talk a little bit later today. But they went from about 30s, something like that, % application completion to high 80s and even 90s within the first month or 2 of moving to Element. So that is an incredible story, because it shows removing frictions actually works. It works, and you got to be intentional about it. And God bless you, Mike, for moving to Workday and launching Workday exactly at the same time that you launched Element.
Builds character.
It builds character, yes, of course. Foresight Tech. Foresight Tech has been a model for us and one of the fastest adopters of the new things that we put out there. And kudos to Dr. Janice Briggs for kind of empowering her team and being an amazing leader. She will be presenting tomorrow, and she has been really instrumental in how Foresight Tech revolves around their student success and student support, kind of centralizing everything and handling everything internally. And kudos to Devin as well for kind of being a cheerleader for us, so we appreciate that. So it's helped them, the technology in Element has helped them move things faster, better, provide a better response to those students, and handle things a lot easier with providing that delight, for example, that they might be getting from the website. Muhlenberg College Graduate School. Shane is here somewhere. And this is an interesting one because Shane came to us and said, hey, we were using another CRM, but I don't have the technical resources, the marketing stuff. I'm a marketing person. I need a lot of work to get done there. So they did a whole study on what it would take and what's the opportunity cost of not implementing Element. It turned out to be over $500,000 over a few years. So they switched to Element, and they saw and implemented it with 2 people in a matter of weeks or even few months. So really great story there from going 3 different ones. Large institution, TSTC, very different. Foresight Tech, very different. Muhlenberg, very different, looking at it very differently. And then last but not least, and they're not a partner well, actually they are a partner. So Ryan's sitting right here in the front from ABAC. Down in Georgia. ABAC joined us about a year ago, and they have seen a tremendous success with Element moving from, doesn't matter. But it's been really fun because Ryan has been a cheerleader for us, and he and the president that came from another institution that used Element, Keystone, I believe, talked to the chancellor, and now we are partnering with 6, hopefully imminent, 7 institutions in the University System of Georgia. And it is an amazing story, and Scott, thank you for kind of believing in our vision and kind of bringing us along and seeing how Element can help transform those less resource-heavy institutions and kind of giving them a leg up. So kudos to you all, and kind of a big applause for what you've accomplished and what we're about to accomplish. So at Element, over the past, as we're growing our network, it's not just about technology, right? It's about how can we also, sometimes technology moves a little bit faster than our organizations. And teaching and learning and bringing everybody along, and literacy in a lot of different areas is super important. So we realized that very early on. We were doing a lot of teaching and learning and a lot of education. So we had an opportunity, and we've been really great partners with Enrollify since they started and believed in kind of their mission. So we acquired the Enrollify network, podcast network, last November. And since then, we have more than doubled the amount of shows that we have, and Mallory has done an amazing job, and the team has done an amazing job on it. All of those creators are here today, so we're really, really happy about it. It offers webinars, shows, courses with, I lost the number, about 7,000 community membership as part of the network, listening to anything from podcasts to webinars to even courses, AI, prompt engineering, marketing courses, all of those things part of the network. So we want to make sure that we're expanding our reach, and we're helping you not just provide the technology, but also provide the learning and teaching and kind of bring you along so you can better use that technology and kind of change minds as well. And as part of that, we also realized that we are working with a lot of you are working with a lot of different vendors, I won't say vendors, partners, it's part of your ecosystem, the part of the EdTech ecosystem. We need partners that are on the marketing side, integration side, technology side. So last month, we launched our Element451 Partner Network, which includes 3 different areas. And the first one is the agency partners, which we launched last month, technology partners and integration partners. So last month, and we are really, really excited and really proud that we have over 10 agency partners now as part of the Element Partner Network that are receiving real-time updates even before you're seeing them, product updates, product learning. We're bringing them in and doing education so they can serve you better in the strategy around technology, marketing, change management, whatever it is. So we're really excited about this, and we're growing it every single week. We're adding more and more partners. This is a free program to all of our partners that we want to help grow not just the use of Element, but how they can help you better utilize that technology in Element. All right, so enough. Let's switch to some of the product stuff. And I'm going to hand it off to Eric, and we've been really, really busy.
Thanks, Ardis. We have been incredibly busy this year on the product team and the engineering teams, bringing a lot of great updates for all of you. But most importantly, first, you guys have all been very, very busy. This last year, since the last Engage Summit, we added more than 9 million contact records across all of our clients to Element451. All those contact records saw 415 million engagements tracked, from SMSs sent, from page views tracked, an incredible amount of engagements that you all are doing to make connections with your students every day. Last year at Engage Summit, we launched publicly, fully, BoltBot. And BoltBot, only about a third of you, a little more than a third of you, are currently using our chatbot product. But for those of you who are, saved over 600,000 minutes engaging with students and getting students the information that they need when they need it using AI and BoltBot. That is the equivalent of 309 full-time employees across all the institutions using BoltBot. So that is just absolutely incredible. And of course, BoltBot wasn't the only one engaging in conversations. You all, in your individual conversations, had more than 832,000 conversations started with students and other stakeholders at your institution. And when you're not doing all of that, you all completed more than 1 million tasks in the tasks module. So kudos to all of you for all that hard work. And lastly, we saw our greatest number of applications processed within Element451 this year, with 370,000 applications started, submitted, and decisioned within Element451. So give yourselves all a round of applause, because we didn't do that, you guys did. But the product team and our engineering team and Ardis and Ty and the rest of the product team pushed a lot of updates for you guys this last year. About 1,200 from very minor tweaks, from little UI adjustments and little quality of life improvements, to more major releases that really fundamentally changed how you engage with your students. Last year at Engage, we announced appointments, and we've had more than 10,000 appointments booked in those first 9 months. And not all of you are using appointments. So when you go home, your homework from this year is to go and dig into appointments, because it is really fundamentally merging the technology and the people. We know that it can't always be digital. Sometimes you got to meet with a person. And that's where appointments really comes in. In how you do work, we introduced teams. Everybody in Element used to be able to be part of one department. But that's not the way under-resourced institutions work, right? I'm working a little bit in undergraduate admissions. Maybe I'm helping with international document verification. So I might be part of multiple teams. So now with teams, you all can work together in different ways. We introduced form snapshots because you all wanted them. So now when a student submits a form, every single instance of that form is saved in Element for both forms and application, appointment bookings. We introduced workflow formulas so you all can more powerfully update smartly your data and student records through there. We've introduced, as I said, BoltBot and Copilot are two flagship AI features which have fundamentally changed how you all interact. And we've built and rebuilt those a couple of times in the last year.
Yes, we did.
Right? So Copilot went through 3 full rebuilds, Petar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So really fundamentally changing how you all interact. And we've got some exciting announcements around that as well. But with that came multilingual support, translation support, all through AI. So we could not be more proud of all the work that you guys did in making Element451 a success this year. But we also are very proud of ourselves, and I will just shout out, very proud of Petar and
We're proud of you too, Eric.
and the engineering team for bringing all of this together. It's just been a fabulous, incredible year, and we've got an even better year ahead. So Ardis?
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, there's a lot of updates, everybody. So as you can see, we're going to talk a lot about updates today, but we couldn't fit them all in, so we just give you a little preview of them. One of the things that we're trying to do is build Element as a platform, an AI-first platform. And when you look at this, and we're going to come back to this graphic a little bit later on the things that we're going to talk about, but we're trying to bring everything together under this one unified platform so we can have all the engagement platform underneath, unified tools, infrastructure, and then orchestration as part of it. And when you look at this, the goals or the focus for us as we talk about some of these features and the things that are a little bit lacking behind or where we are, there is a few things. There's 4 areas where we try to, themes or things that we try to do. The first one is around reach, right? How can we expand the platform and the footprint to reach better integrations? How can we connect it with better, different systems? How can we expand our data models? How can we expand the use cases so we can now broaden our engagement across the life cycle with current students and even alumni use cases in there? Last, also, as Element becomes the source of truth and a knowledge database and a knowledge source with BoltBot answering questions, we're focusing a lot on knowledge discovery. Like Melina said today, like it's like removing friction. Somebody goes to your website, we're trying to make sure that all that knowledge that we have in Element, we're providing that student that information where they are, where they need it. And that's where we try to become a knowledge discovery engine and a content hub. And last but not least, focusing on Bolt AI, kind of frontier AI that is able, with our AI assistants, which have been rebranded, by the way, Copilot and BoltBot have been rebranded. But obviously, there's a lot more technology in there to AI assistants. So going forward, that is the name that you're going to hear a lot, AI assistants. And that's going to be becoming the AI-first CRM because we change in how you interact with our product. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, and we're going to go into a lot of details around this in future presentations today around product and even tomorrow. We're going to talk more in some deep dives. But courses, as you start thinking, the product delivery or the thing that you or a student that you're, well, I don't want to use the word selling, but the thing that we're packaging this unit into a course. So we're packaging a delivery unit into a course, and it's so fundamental to the work that we do and how we think about it that we needed to bring that into Element and make it a first-party data object and component of Element. So now we can have courses, sections, enrollment models through our API, and we're going to have that available on our profiles, portals, which will take sneak peek there, and AI assistance. And this way allows you to connect better with the SIS and the LMS. So now we can model and take those data from those systems and bring them into Element so you can have a 360 view of that student. And courses was one of those things that we didn't have before, and we've been very intentional about adding that. So that's coming soon. And by soon, we usually means weeks to just a couple of months, right? We don't talk about 6 months to a year timeline. So when we say soon, those are the timelines. Zapier, it's an interesting one, and I'm going to let Petar about this because this is interesting.
Yeah. So as we wanted to expand the use cases and our reach, it kind of like made sense to look at other ways, not just expanding Element itself, but like putting Element in different places. We had our Zapier application. Probably some of you already use it. Sorry. So we had then an idea. Zapier has 6,000 plus integrations. All of you currently use workflows probably. That's the backbone probably for all of your business processes. What if we take our workflows and put it in Zapier? So that's why you see we added 21 new actions, 22 plus new triggers. What this means is we actually took each event in workflows and each action in workflows and we put it in Zapier. So what this means now is you can connect to any app that's in Zapier into Element. So some of the interesting use cases, for example, you can listen to an event in Eventbrite and enroll a student in a workflow in Element, like if it was a native event. So it changes the narrative how you approach integrations now with Element. You don't need custom integrations. You can just go there and then build it. And because we now have a backbone using workflows, we will just keep on iterating. Every new action added in workflows or a new event added in workflows will be exposed in Zapier as well.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I'll just want to add one more thing. It's not backwards compatible, so you will need to rebuild your flows, but there's a benefit to that. One of the changes in the engine that we did is now you can match on any identity in Element. So if you're storing, for example, a Salesforce ID or a school ID or a student email, it will match on anything. So before it was only the primary email of the student. Again, expands the use cases.
Yeah, really excited about that. And anytime we get a chance to kind of broaden that reach, it kind of multiplies the value that you get out of the system. Payments is another one. This is very important to me because at Element, we've had payments about applications or we've had payments around events, but they were very specific to those use cases. Now payments, you can use them for anything. We attach payments to any form. You can use it for orientation, donations, courses, and a lot more things. We have a lot of integration providers, including Element Payments, which is backed by Stripe. We also have different payment types. So when you put a form up, you start thinking about, okay, I can put a specific fixed price, or I can change conditionally depending on what the student's status is or what the contact status is. You can do calculated components based on how they answer certain questions in the forms, and even user-defined. So for donations, they want to donate $5 or $100 or whatever it is. Now that's available as part of payments as well. Universal discount codes, which allow you to now provide discounts across multiple campaigns and across multiple forms if that's something that you want to do. And of course, all of this is PCI and kind of secure and PCI compliant because we're not kind of taking any of that payment and security information. Kind of attaching to that, one of the other use cases that we're expanding into, we're talking about authenticated forms. This allows you to require authentication on that user contact when they submit a form. So this way, you understand that they're actually in the system, and a use case for this has been like residency verification, for example, or current student forms, or even alumni info updates. They need to have an email, they need to have some kind of identity in order to verify themselves and then go ahead and submit that. So really, really exciting. Landing pages have been something that we've had since the beginning. And it's really important because they're the backbone of a lot of the marketing campaigns and work that we do. They're no-code landing pages, amazing work around the components there. We have 3,500 plus landing pages being built by you guys today. And today we're actually introducing sites. And sites are, think about the same landing page, but now you can have sub-pages on that. So you can now build full microsites. You can have a single domain, and you can have any amount of landing pages underneath that particular domain. It uses, you can kind of think about it as multiple use cases. You can build now public microsites under the same place, event sites, view books, whatever you want to think about. we're now opening that up. Before we had microsites, which was a private community or a private login-based one, and a lot of you used it for prospects and a few others. Well, now anybody can go to one URL and then experience everything. And it's the same no-code landing page experience. As a matter of fact, you can turn any landing page into a site today by adding subpages to that particular landing page. And one really cool thing that the team kind of threw in there.
Yeah, so we know that you have built a lot of pages and probably was like, oh, damn, I don't want to migrate all of that. so we added kind of like, as you know, templates. So you can basically use any page as a template and just load it in easily. It's a one-click load, so it will make things easier. And the custom components, if you want to reuse components across different pages, they allow you to do that as well.
So now this becomes a lot more than just a landing page builder platform. It becomes more of a content hub and kind of a
we're entering like a
CMS.
CMS.
So we don't want to.
We don't want to might call it that, but
no.
Yeah, and think about all of the opportunities that this opens up, right? With the custom components and reusing pages, you can now quickly build something like a program tree, right? Where here's all my programs, and each program has a subpage, and your subdoms are no longer this long, right? Because you can have actual navigation. So it's really, really powerful to build these sorts of pages. For your students to explore.
So it's part of, so those are great additions, right? And you can see how we're not stopping, we're not just building AI stuff. We're thinking about these use cases, expanding the platform, building more capabilities in there so you guys can handle more use cases. And a lot of these are things that you guys are telling us. You know, authenticated forms, payments, handling courses, like all of these things you're telling us we need this. So we're working on those and trying to be very thoughtful about that problem of handling that student all into one platform. But we're also focusing on our AI and the AI stack and how we think about it. So the ability to now have, so this is an AI, think about this as an AI stack, the ability to have a universal interface and then have memory and context, which is, again, from Element, and then reasoning and planning. So this is the AI stack and how we think about it. This universal interface is obviously the chat component or kind of the conversational component. And we at Element really try to think really hard on these large language models and how we're using them. That's the universal interface that now makes a lot of things possible. In Element, we get asked a lot, well, what do you use? Like, what model do you use or what provider? And our answer is, you know what? We're going to use the best model, the best frontier model that is actually going to make sure we can handle the use cases that we're trying. So we use a variety, right? We use a whole bunch of them. We use GPT-4o for reasoning, multimodal, agentic workflows. We use Claude 3 and maybe 3.5 as...
Not right now.
Not today.
Yeah, not today, not today.
Tomorrow.
Give me a day, give me a day.
For writing and for image descriptions and kind of that work. Cohere for re-ranking, because all of this work that we do, and even open source that we're exploring right now around Llama 3 for some of the sentiment analysis. So we're building a platform that is LLM agnostic. This brain or this large language models, universal interfaces, they're going to get better and better. OpenAI releases something, and we get 2x improvement in speed. Well, guess what? That gets transferred in. Somebody else does that. One line of code, we switch it. You get that benefit, and the end user gets that benefit today. So that's how we're thinking about it. And then memory and context. This is the secret sauce. Everybody can go ahead and build LLM. They can build AI tools and components, and there's a lot of tools out there and platforms that allow you to do that. But you need a memory and context. You need knowledge. You need the history of that conversations. You need user personas and all the data and the context of where they're in. And then you need institutional data. And all of this is part of our knowledge base. And I'm going to let Petar talk very briefly about this, on how we think about, this is a secret sauce in Element where we're bringing all of these pieces together, and the knowledge base around our data is really important.
So the knowledge base is actually what powers BallBot and also the Copilot on the staff side. And actually now, a couple of things that we will announce today, it powers them as well. It expanded. We actually released it last year when we released BallBot as well. So over a year, we started adding more and more stuff. I would like to announce today that we released 2 new content sources, YouTube video and YouTube channel. This now allows you to load all of that into the Ballbot's memory. We actually will pull transcription. We have a transcription engine, pull it out, understand it, and load it in. A couple of others for people who don't know, maybe we support different sources. You can load your whole websites. You can load your whole, basically based on a sitemap, it will detect changes and load only the changed pages. But also we support any type of file format, that being a PDF, a Word. How we do that, we actually use some advanced capabilities because some documents have kind of like tough structure to understand. They're not just text laid out. So you need to understand the columnar format and the layout. So we use optical character recognition, and we use also machine learning models to read these documents and find kind of like how the text flows. Is it left? Is it right? So this also allows us to parse tables from files, and you can load them as data points into the knowledge base. Some of the other things that I would like to mention for the knowledge base is that we actually have kind of like an access control mechanism. You have knowledge that's public, that kind of like is used when students are interacting with AI, but also you have knowledge that's private that only your staff uses. This is an important one. I don't think everybody knows that this exists. Basically, you can load all your policies, all your procedures that can be there, and your staff can use it as a single place to find information. Actually, that's where we will move to use, because we used in Slack a different bot that's not good. So we will dog food our own thing because it's better. It's better. And one thing to mention as well is it's written here, state-of-the-art RAG, but I would like to explain for people who don't know. RAG is kind of like a word that we use to explain the content retrieval when we get the content from any place. So imagine like it's a chaos and you need to find the exact thing that you want, and people call it semantic search, all of that. So when we say state-of-the-art, why state-of-the-art? Because it's not as easy as just doing a semantic search. There's different ways how you approach finding that information. A lot of people are trying to solve it even today. There's papers being published every day. So we are constantly looking what we can use, what's applicable. Some papers are not kind of like scalable, so we try to find what works for us. So currently what we use is basically the best in the industry, and I can guarantee for that. That's why you see that Ballbot and Copilot can answer all the questions.
I think you got the Petar guarantee right there. So.
If it doesn't work, send me an email.
So when we look at, we have all this knowledge, right? And the number one place that all of your students go to retrieve knowledge, prospective, current students, is your website. And that is a true knowledge base that you have. And when you look at that, like this is from eXpectations last year, trend report, top 5 things that I find frustrating. Hard to find information about programs and majors, hard to use navigation. There's a lack of information about job opportunities and outcomes, lack of information about admission statistics, confusing directions related to admissions process. So all of these are the top 5 things. And what we've done there is we think about this RAG, or this retrieval system, semantic search, and then now we add the generative AI and the conversational engine to that, and we build Bolt Discovery that actually replaces a lot of that pain of that student finding those answers, having to navigate everywhere, and we would love to kind of give you a little preview of this. We've done a couple of webinars, but this will be available today.
Yes.
For everybody, general availability today. So we'll switch and give you just a little preview of this.
So Bolt Discovery solves all of those problems that Ardis was just talking about, right? So we have a couple of different ways we can do it. There'll be a couple of sessions around Bolt Discovery, but today we're going to demonstrate this on one of our Element landing pages, and we have this great
New component.
discovery component here, where you can set up custom starters there at the bottom, or you can just ask Discovery anything. Shout out to our friends at Forsyth Tech who let us use their data in this, because where this really shines is with web content in particular, but we can use all of those sources Petar was talking about. So let's take a little bit of a journey here with a student who's not sure what they want to study at Forsyth Tech. So let's do this.
So as Eric mentioned, it uses the whole knowledge base. So all your content, all your websites, also all the YouTube videos as well are loaded to the transcripts. Now what you're seeing here, what appears, some of you probably use Perplexity. It's very similar to that as well. So you have the structure where there's the question. There will be the cited sources that match best the search query. Of course, this is only if there's a public link available, so we can give it to the user cited, and then the student, when he sees that, he can go and verify the information if is it actually accurate. The answer is generated, so there's no need for a student to go click the links and try to synthesize that information themselves. They just get the answer to their question. On the right side, you will see the YouTube videos. These YouTube videos are the best ones that match the search query again. We use semantic search here as well. That's why we said we load the transcripts and we semantically search the transcripts to find the ones that match the best. You probably saw below, Eric already clicked the button. There's another component which we really like. It's the follow-up questions. Follow-up questions entice engagement and kind of guide the student through the process and basically create questions based on what they're doing right now. We did some magic with the follow-up questions, so they're not.
Petar guarantee magic?
Yes. So some of them will just continue the flow, but some of them have hidden functionality. If we detect that it's a prospect and then they're interested in studying, we'll show a button. And when they click that, that actually will open an RFI form or kind of like a prospect form to capture the lead as well. There's other functionality. There's a session tomorrow. Me and Eric are holding that. And we will go deeper into ball discovery, show you all how you can set it up. It's really easy, and you'll see everything.
Yeah. So one great thing here with these cited sources, you can see that this answer was composed of 8 different websites, information from 8 different web pages, right? So this student got a very concise, great answer very quickly without having to hunt across those 8 web pages on the website. So this is great. You can also do lead capture, and we'll be showing that tomorrow in our presentation on Bolt Discovery.
Thanks, Forsyth, for letting us your catalog data, which we're using for this demo. All right, so again, generative Q&A, follow-up questions, citations, lead capture. He can hand things off to an assistant now. So if he doesn't understand something or he needs to talk to a person, he will actually hand that off to our AI bots. It video results. It's easy sharing. Think about a parent going and doing their research or a student doing their research. They can just copy that link and send it to a parent or send it to you or somebody else, and they will get exactly the same history, which is saved there. And then you can embed it anywhere, right? You can embed it anywhere, and it's very developer-friendly as well, so you can incorporate it throughout your website. And that's where a lot of those partners help out tremendously when trying to incorporate this as part of your website. On landing pages is easy, drag and drop. So our AI journey has been really interesting. Last year, we started development on a lot of our AI components. GPT-4 got released. Our preview begins with a lot of our copilots. We released BoltBot last year during our Engage conference. We continue our journey releasing Copilot, which is for campaigns, building AI, build campaigns. Copilot for pages, building landing pages. We released what we call our global Copilot, so essentially an AI assistant right within Element. And then today, we are releasing our AI assistants and making them generally available to everybody. So AI assistants for both student and staff, both internal assistants and also student-based assistants. And we're going to go and talk a little bit about a couple of use cases here.
So here's a landing page where the messenger is embedded. Again, there's a lot happening here. So there's a session after lunch where we will go dive deep into assistants. So just bear with me here. I'll try to explain as much as I can. So now, before, as you remembered, you would go and ask BoltBot, and BoltBot will directly answer. Now it's a little bit different. Based on the context of the page, there's a different assistance available. What this allows is that for the specific problem a student might have, they might find the correct solution. And basically, these assistants have the kind of the best knowledge and are kind of like scoped just for that specific use case. So I would like to show kind of like an example where a student comes in, they would like to ask what's going on campus, how is living there, and maybe potentially try to apply, just to show some examples, and also to show some things that we spiced up that we added and released today as well. So here we enter, this is a peer advisor, or you can think of it like a student living on campus already. We can ask it, hey, how is the campus living experience? We'll get an answer. So now what I will do, we want to change the topic. So let's say that the student was like, hey, all good, I like it. I might even go in and try to book an open house. But let's say we want to apply immediately. We can write that. But one thing that we released today is we can actually say that. Hello, Helen. I'm interested in applying. Can you help me with that process, or who I need to talk to about that? So what we added now is the assistants can listen and understand. So what you're seeing, what happened here is Helen, because she's not the, sorry, Helen is not the expert. She's not the admissions advisor. So she was like, okay, I'll hand you off to the admissions advisor. She knows how to handle the process and to ask you everything. So let's continue. Well, yeah, I would like to apply. I would like to maybe apply for an undergraduate application. Do you have that?
See, and this is really so Petar didn't have to type like I did in front of a big audience.
Yeah, I waited. Yes, I would like the undergraduate application, please. Okay, so again, one more thing we added is because you can hear, now we can also see. So what we can do, let's provide our email. I have this like a student card where there's my email and my name. Let's just provide that. See what will happen. Okay, let's proceed. So I probably got the code. Give me a moment. Yes, I got it. My code is 699661.
I think that was your American Express code.
My CVC. So it actually went in, understood everything, and actually created the application for me. But we added one more thing, and this is hot off the presses. It's actually not live yet, because we basically did the code this morning.
We had an idea yesterday, and
should I show it because it's like live demo in front of a lot of people? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we added respond to voice messages with AI voice. So let's see. I think Elsa has a voice. Let's take a look. You're able to configure also the voice how you want it to sound. So, okay. Or you want a different one, or this one? Which one?
Nova.
Nova. Okay.
Ardis picked Nova earlier today, so.
So let's go here. Where's Ilsa? Hey Ilsa, how are you? And we got voice back.
Petar.
Oh,
Asking, what can I do?
our audio is
I think
a
the
little scrambled.
Wi-Fi in
I think it's the
our
Wi-Fi.
audio is.
Hi, Petar.
Yeah, the audio.
This is why Jack Hannon always complained about
Maybe I
bringing
should
live animals
unplug and give it the microphone.
to the Tonight Show. So it happens. It happens when you bring the.
Let me try one thing.
All right.
Unplug this. And just do.
Hi, Petar. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How can I assist you today?
There you go.
There we go.
So that's it. That's what we're adding.
All right, everyone. So that's AI assistance for students. That's AI assistance for students. We have 14 plus roles in there. They're part of a team. There's a knowledge customization that you can have 5 times faster than the original, well, not original, actually a few months ago.
Yep.
Unlimited assistance and teams. So now, when you think about like having one chatbot, well, you can have unlimited chatbots now with different personalities, different working together on different teams in different web pages. You can have one for each program, one for one graduate, undergraduate. It doesn't matter. It's a platform that you build all these AI assistants in. Multi-channel that you saw today. Well, actually, no, you didn't see that. You saw multimodal today, so text, image, and audio, and you can embed them anywhere. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is AI assistance for staff. So rather than us actually building this one, Petar, do you want to talk about this?
Sure thing. So staff assistance is similar, kind of similar problem. Is we want to provide the experts to kind of solve your specific problems, and it's easier to, if you have like a focused one, it's easier to optimize it. In this case, you probably already interacted with a couple of these. You probably interacted with the general one. You see right now the Catch Me Up, that's your like personal assistant that will go into the CRM and be able to see, do you have new conversations, new decisions. It can understand the context where it is, so it can read, for example, contact information. Some of the feature that's hidden that people might not know is you can actually ask it any question about the data point on the student, so like a custom field or anything. So now what's happening here, we are switching slowly to the campaign assistant. So you probably saw a handoff from the general one to the campaign one. Campaign one is the expert in building campaigns, and is like campaigns unlimited number of emails. You can do 100 if you want to. but don't do that, please. And the flow is simple. You ask it what you want. Because it's the expert, it kind of guides you through the process. Okay, we need to first build an outline. You need to give me some information to do that, and then I can continue and do my work. So it then proceeds, gives you kind of like a what it will do. And in the end, if you like it, you can also give it feedback. Say, hey, I don't like it. Can you change it, etc. But if you like, you say, hey, proceed. It actually goes in and installs things inside of Element. So it uses under the hood the PAX mechanism. We probably use that to install some other different resources. So it kind of like interacts with that and is able to create like a full workflow. And you see on the screen the workflow created and all the communications. What it does also under the hood, the campaigns one, it's not just a single assistant. It's actually a bundle, a team. We just don't expose it to you, but there's a photographer, an art director, a writer, because each one is a specialist at their job. So the photographer has the capability of, if an email is on a certain topic, it's able to find the right image to use, like the right art. But it finds like 10, right? Because that's his job. And then the art director is one that picks, this one is the best. And you actually see a glimpse of that functionality. You can actually have that in here. You can actually search images in your media manager and ask AI to like give you recommendations. We will cover these as well on the session after lunch.
So with AI assistants, you have a unified personal assistant for everything, right? Where you have it's context aware. It knows what pages you're in. It can access to all the CRM data. It's an Element451 expert. We've loaded all of the Element451 help articles into the same knowledge base. So now you can ask it anything about Element. If you're in a particular place and you don't know what's going on, you can ask it about, hey, how do I do this thing, because you're in data sources or something like that. And then it has 20 plus additional skills, and we're adding more and more of them. And Petar just walked you through the marketing assistant. Marketing expert, it's a campaign strategist, it does a lot of the brainstorming, the art direction, like he mentioned. It actually builds the HTML for all those landing page, for all those campaigns, and it actually builds the whole workflow and the whole sequences for you. It builds and then it does really good copywriting. But on top of that, it uses the actual copywriter assistant. We also have a copywriter assistant that it's a universal writer. It uses your institutional brand, style, and guide. And you can now go in and put in, hey, here's our voice. We use, English, whatever your style guide is.
Or if you don't know, you just copy-paste a blog post that you wrote, and it will be able to figure it out.
It'll infer that from a prior writing or an email or whatever it is.
And
so,
or just a sec, I just want to mention that this list, you see it's 3 of them, but we will expand. And as we build our platform, and you probably saw today we announced pages, sites and sites. What if you had an assistant that can build you a whole site, for example? There's nothing stopping us to do that. So we'll just keep on adding these types of experts to make your life easy. So that's the goal.
Yeah, and because we have the whole knowledge base in there and all the context, we're pulling that information. Just as if that student is asking a question, we're doing exactly the same thing and pulling the relevant information and putting it all in the UI and the visual design. So we have all that knowledge and the knowledge base hub in there. Very excited today as we move into student success, we're introducing student portals. Student portals are a centralized place for students, for current students, to access a lot of these capabilities. You've asked us over and over again, how do we provide a place for our current students, and how do we communicate with them, and how do we engage with them? We're going to have a deeper dive today. We're going to get to preview a little bit about the portals, but portals have access to AI assistants. Think about advising, support, coaching directly in the portals. It knows the context of that student. It can provide a lot more of that interaction personalized to that student. Bolt discovery is baked into portals as well. So if they have a question about anything, they have a history, it's all into the portals. Courses is going to be part of that. Things like your catalog, searching for classes, or all the things that you did before, but also enrolled courses, like your enrollment courses, as we bring that data in from the LMS and the SIS. Things like appointment, they'll be able to see what appointments they have and schedule more appointments, all within a unified interface. Big thing, push notifications. So we're adding yet another channel to Element. Because you have this as an app and somebody can install it, well, we don't go through the App Store, but it's still an app on your phone. we we have the ability to have push notifications for real time and anywhere. So these push notifications will be available wherever that student is. If we know that they are visible or they have a presence anywhere in the portals, in your microsites, wherever they are.
Yep, and they are persisted forever for the student, and that they will act similarly like if you see in conversations like a shared inbox, you'll be able to see all the notifications you ever sent to the student, and also what we also kind of like will put in there is they will carry actions. So
is that another Petar promise?
Yes. So you'll be able to
push them up today.
Push them to a survey, push them to a form. So yeah, it's a big thing. They will work similarly as we do right now, emails and SMS. You'll have one-on-one notifications, but also mass. So you'll have both options to pick and choose.
So you'll have campaigns and conversations to do push notifications.
Yes.
Yeah. And then My Network. So Student Support Network and other relationships are going to be available in the portal, so you can see exactly what are the people that's supporting you, and you can create those internal relationships with that student so that now they can see, hey, I'm assigned to this counselor, I'm assigned to this advisor, I have all these different relationships that they have in there, and they can start those conversations through conversations, or even actually ask their AI counterparts for questions because they have all that knowledge in there. And it's branded to your school, school colors and your school logos, and it will be on your own unique URL, and it's also self-installed, and there's no app store for it. We're using
PWAs.
Progressive Web Apps.
So probably you don't know what it means. So it's just a way, probably you heard maybe Twitter Lite, if anybody used. So there's a way, Instagram supports that as well. Whenever you enter a browser, you'll see a little icon in the top,
Install, yeah.
in the top right corner where you install. What it means is still a website, so it still runs in the browser, but you can like get it on your home screen, and it gets access to do like the push notifications and everything. So it's really easy to install. We don't need to go through the App Store process, and because that pushing updates there, it's a big pain, and also you need to be the expert for the mobile technology.
Yeah.
This way we use our expertise for building good web experiences and just put it and build a mobile app.
So we can get the benefits of both of those worlds into one.
And I think I think the most exciting thing for us as we were building this is that we realized that this was our very first feature that we built exclusively with current students in mind, right? A lot of you have been leveraging the great engagement tools that we have and that we built initially for admissions and enrollment, and you've been using them for current students. But this is a solution for current students, and right now, only current students. So it's really, really exciting for us to kind of start expanding our use cases even further with student portals.
We appreciate it. So you can now see how, again, I said I'll come back to this graphic. So Element really becomes a true platform, an AI-first platform where student engagement, you have the intelligent CRM in there, and there's just one component of it. You have a customer data platform that you're feeding all of your data into Element, and now you can interact and can engage with anything and getting all those signals in. Marketing automation that essentially handles the whole back and forth, multi-channel, all of these different things. We add all of the higher education student-specific tools in here that get your use cases 99% there, that you don't have to build yourself and spend a lot of money and time and consulting in order to build those things. So we build those for you, and now you can just configure them really easily. We're adding our AI infrastructure on top of that, where we have our skills, knowledge, and kind of this large language models that allows us to do incredible things as part of Element. And then the last piece is the orchestration. We're adding, so we talked about the AI assistants and all that layer that now is use case based. Rather than saying, I want to use this tool or that tool, you just say, I want to accomplish this thing. So we're building Element as an AI platform that's building on top of each other, and we couldn't build this any other way if we didn't start with the foundational layers and kind of build and build and build on top of that. So that's why we're really, really excited about it. And when I talk about coming back to our mission, creating personal connections between students and schools through technology, giving you the technology that's able to do that. However, we cannot scale humans. And personal engagement at scale really requires AI. Even if we give you all these tools, everything is reactive, meaning you have to be sending that communication, you have to be engaging. That student has to initiate that action, right? A lot of that stuff is that way. Well, guess what? We want to go to a place where it's proactive. We're getting that delight before. Remember the dopamine? It's the anticipation, right? So we want to make sure that before that student has that exam, we can send them a message and say, you're going to do great. And that is the delight. So the proactive approach around campaigns, around outreach, and then making them personal for the student. So having each one of those communications be personal, each one of those outreaches be personal for that student. That's what we're building, and that's what's coming as part of our AI assistance, is a proactive, goal-oriented AI assistance. This is the thing that we're going to be working over the next few months. It might take a little bit more than a couple of weeks or a couple of months, maybe, you know, because there's a lot that goes in this, right? Rather than that student going to a website or asking something, now we're going to have AI assistants that we can give them a goal. We can give them a goal to, hey, here is a cohort of students. Here's a segment of students, and they are prospects. Try to move them to an application start or an application complete. And because we have all those signals, now the AI and the assistant can check in every single day, or even more often than that, and can say, what do I need to do next so this student can now move along? Do I need to send them a push notification? Do I need to send them an email? What is the best email that I can send them in order to kind of move them along? And because I have all their context and I know exactly what to do, I can reach out in their best channel. I can provide the best messaging. I can provide the best art because I can create and I can have access to all of that. So that is what we're building, right? Proactive and goal-oriented. So now you have a goal to move them to applications. You have a goal to retain that student, to kind of complete their classes, whatever it is, or an alumni campaign to kind of move each individual person along their journey. That's what we're building. And it's really, really exciting because it's not a matter of changing or just incremental. This is changes how we think about personalization at scale altogether. So that's all we have for today. Hopefully, you guys got a chance to take a peek at what we've built, what we're launching today, and kind of where we're focusing in order to handle all of those kind of the problem that we see of making better connections between students and schools.
Thank you.
Q&A?
Thank you, everyone.
So we do have we do have about 5 minutes if there is any questions for
you.
Petar. Michael.
Oh, I got your mic right here, Michael.
Did you just appear out of the sky? That was amazing.
Like
The voice features of the AI are really tantalizing. And so much of our student time is with phone calls. We use vendors to not be named to a lot of money in that area. So the move towards augmenting, thanks for all the new features. Could you next build that?
We will.
That was the Petar promise.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. I mean, that is the natural progression, right? When we talk about multimodal, we talk that it's not just text that's going over. It's voice. It's even images that can, like you saw receiving images. So yes, voice and phone calling is one of the channels in Element, and WhatsApp is one of the channels. So in order to do this, we need to go back and forth via voice on those channels, and that's exactly what we're doing. So as soon as OpenAI releases, so you saw a little bit of delay today, right? It was a little bit of a delay because we're going through a couple of steps in order to generate that audio. However, we're anticipating the release of GPT 4.0 voice As soon as they open that up with our API, we will revert that. And then now you get real-time audio in 300 millisecond delays, right? That's what we're waiting for. Hopefully over the next couple of weeks they'll release that, and then we'll kind of swap this by the time we release this feature.
You probably saw that or if somebody watched their product release when they did the GPT-4o. So what they demoed, it's not actually still available. But when that gets available, we get the even better voices and better emotions as well.
Scarlett Johansson, is that the
Yes.
voice?
Yes.
Sorry, that's copyrighted. We can't have that voice.
We've got a question in the back. Pass this mic over.
Hi, thank you. My question is about the voice assistant as well. I'm assuming since it's built on ChatGPT 4.0 that the answer to this is yes, but can a student ask questions in a language other than English and receive a response in a language other than English?
Yes.
Petar, can you
Thank
do
you.
that, please?
Yes, let's try that.
All right, we'll switch it really quick.
1 sec.
So that was the WoW demo that I got yesterday. But yes, we'll ask more questions as Petar does that.
I need to pull the plug because we cannot hear on the HDMI. So trust me, I'm doing everything.
Oh,
I'm not.
we went to black.
Yeah, but because I need to blow the
Ah.
the sound goes out. So let's see. Zdravo Helen, kako si? This is Serbian. Okay, sorry.
Can't
1
see.
sec. So this is what? Come on.
No, they just put up the other slide.
1 sec. Let me see.
You know what? Come to our session around assistance.
Give me
and
a moment. I just
we
want
will
to-
demo that there.
1 sec. It's coming. Give me 5 seconds.
All right, next question.
Sorry
Hola,
for
Ilsa.
not standing up. Hi, my name is Heather. So we're getting ready to put a lot of our knowledge-based articles into a service management tool,
Yes.
and it doesn't have an organic site map. So these are knowledge-based articles, that'll live in. It's TDX. So when we looked at loading the knowledge base, it looked like it looks for a site map to learn the knowledge-based articles.
Yes.
Do you anticipate tying into a service management tool like TDX to be able to scrape that for its knowledge base?
We haven't been asked that question before, but the answer is yes. As long as that's available, we have a lot of really advanced scraping capabilities that we built internally. So just pointing at a different resource as we look at it will be easier.
And is it like a proprietary sitemap, like different format or the same?
No solution mode. We need to understand the problem first.
Oops.
Did it do it?
Yeah.
Oh, can you get closer so you can understand?
So what I asked.
Hola Ilsa.
And
Merhaba Petar. Sana nasıl yardımcı
can you hear? No. We'll figure out for
That's
the
right. It was
assistant session.
Serbian. I promise it was Serbian.
No, this was
So
Spanish.
it
though.
responds in the
It
same
was Spanish,
language
sorry.
that he was asked the question.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all. We're really. Oh, one more.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, I'll try. Whoa, that's hot. Okay.
Jake.
Yes. Thank you. The announcements you have here are amazing. 2 quick questions. So you mentioned that payments are able to collect donations. Does that mean we're going to be able to track donors? Second follow-up question. All these features where we're getting new students and active students involved, is there any way we could work in, a feature request here, Petar, to do like a degree audit and like a degree plan so students can plan their semesters months, years in advance? I work with 5 other schools who are trying to get their students to not have to use the SIS for everything because what student loves that?
Yes.
Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah, so payments, yes. The answer is yes. We have the ability to have any type of profile in Element. They can be a donor, they can be an alumni, they can be anybody in there. So you can do that today. So you can have any type, and you can have relationships between organizations or whatever you want. With your second question, degree audits, that's a big problem. And I don't think we are focusing on that today. Maybe in the future, but that's a no for right now. All right, well, thanks everybody again.